Well, Sheldon Creed, you mentioned he threw everybody, I think, a bit of a curveball last week, Dustin, when he announced that he's going to leave RCR after this year. I don't think he announced the destination, but the popular sentiment seems to be that he's heading over to Joe Gibbs Racing in one of those cars for next year. But I think, like I said, I don't think anybody saw this one coming.
No, not at all. In late August, Sheldon told me on the record straight up that he planned, it was the week that Austin Hill announced he was coming back. So it was at Watkins Glen that Sheldon planned on being Austin Hill's teammate for a long time to come. So a curveball was thrown here, and then the last month or so, even as of last month at Bristol, I think, he said publicly that he planned on returning. So, yes, you're not gonna, if you're him, right, and you're in RCR equipment, who's really good equipment, top tier for the Xfinity Series. They have all these affiliate teams. Well, you're probably not going to go to one of them, and Kaulig's got some openings. So yes, I would say Joe Gibbs Racing is the destination for Sheldon Creed next year.
Well, and we're still waiting, Bruce, to hear what AJ Allmendinger is going to do. I mean, that hasn't been clear yet. I mean, you listen to Chris Rice talk about, what Kaulig's going to do, and he says, AJ Allmendinger should be in the Cup Series, but they haven't said if he's going to be in the Cup Series next year or if he's going to drop back to Xfinity again.
That was one of the strangest post-race winners interviews I've seen in a while after he won at the Roval, because you would have thought that would have rubber-stamped his return to Cup, because, AJ Allmendinger can really drive a race car, especially on a makeshift road course like you had at Indianapolis. They're going back to the Oval next year, and also what you have at the Roval. But yet nobody would commit. Nobody was going to commit that he was definitely going to be back in Cup next year. So it really makes me think that I'm not so sure they really know quite yet what their decision is. But, AJ Allmendinger to me belongs in the Cup Series.
What are you hearing, Dustin? Do you think he's back in the Cup Series or headed towards Xfinity?
The latter. I think that interview that Bruce alluded to, I think that tells you all you need to know, really. That would have been a perfect time if they had something that Allmendinger, because they've said internally that they have a decision, and whether that's true or not, we'll probably find out here in the next week or so. I know they have a fan event leading into Martinsville, and that's last year where they announced their driver lineup for this year. So, whether or not that happens next week or not, Matt Kaulig's poured a ton of money into his teams. He started out with one Xfinity team with Blake Cook all the way back in 2016. He'd go to two, quickly 3 Xfinity teams, buys 2 charters, has 2 full-time teams, one in 2021 when he didn't have any charters with Allmendinger at the Brickyard on the road course. So he's dumped a lot of money into the sport. And we're talking about a little earlier with Riley, how family money might play a factor, and maybe that's the decision they go with, someone with some funding behind them. Where AJ, he absolutely belongs in the Cup Series. He's a top tier driver. There's 5 regular season road course races. He gives you a shot to win all 5 of them. But unfortunately, I think he's going to be in the Xfinity Series next year.
Maybe that explains why he was so emotional after he won at the Roval.
Probably so.
It could be. And one other question, Dustin, is what's going to happen with Aric Almirola? Is he going to retire again?
On the broadcast, they keep mentioning him possibly going to the Xfinity Series. And why would you do that if, that's 3 less weekends of travel, right? And you got Smithfield.
But you're home on Sunday.
You are home. That is true. You are home on Sunday. So you get an extra day at home. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see him coming back personally. I haven't heard anything on Smithfield returning. So I would say that there's the 10 cars open for next year.
I was a little surprised that he came back this year in many ways because, he basically said, it's my retirement tour. I'm done. I'm out of here. And then also, it's kind of like watching Al Pacino in a Godfather movie. He can never, they always pull him right back.